All right, all right, all right. Now you at least see your pictures here. So listen, hey guys, welcome to REI USA Ultimate Foreclosure Formula. This is our first session together. I'm so excited. Love Stacy, love her energy. It's so contagious. I'm Darlene, Queen of Foreclosures. I've been around for 30 years in the real estate business. And I am here to offer you guys support, education, whatever it is you're looking for when it comes to foreclosures. So I would love if you would join me with your videos. That would be excellent. Talk to me. Tell me who you are. Where are you from? You got to unmute yourselves. I think I gave you the ability to unmute.
Hello.
Hey, Cynthia.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Tucker. I'm from South Carolina, which is Greenville, Spartanburg area. I really want to learn about the foreclosure. I'm just getting started in the wholesale business. Um, and what allowed me to go through this process and which foreclosure that really takes my eyes because being a widow, I went through foreclosure almost two times, and I had to go through bankruptcy, and it was a lot more. It's a lot, and I have five children. So there are so many people during this pandemic and what's going on. There's going to be a lot of people that was in the position that I was in.
Yeah.
So I have a heartfelt for that, and hopefully that I'm able to help them.
Excellent, excellent. Well, great. Hope I'm able to help you. Love South Carolina. I've done some foreclosures in South Carolina where we actually
Really
went to the courthouse. Yes.
awesome. Well, listen, if there's anything that you need that I can go fetch for you, or I'm that type of person. I believe in helping. So
Excellent.
if there's anything that you need, just please email me, connect me, and I'll go get it for you.
Sounds great. Excellent, excellent. So yeah, just let us know when we talk foreclosures. And I'll tell you guys, I'll give you a good introduction tonight just on foreclosures in general, and then just offer you some good, just good stuff to go out there on your own and keep on moving till we see each other again. But foreclosures are going to explode. It's going to be a little while, but I'm convinced foreclosures are going to explode. There's my buddy Janet. Janet, welcome. Good to see you. I did give you the opportunity to unmute yourselves. So Cynthia was just telling us she's from South Carolina. Anyone else would like to share? This looks like it's the ladies' evening. I'm happy.
Hi, Dar.
Hey,
Sorry, just trying to
Janet.
get my technology together. Welcome. You look fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
So glad to be here.
Good. So Janet is here in Atlanta, a veteran in the real estate business, according to Darlene.
Yes, according to Darlene.
I know you won't say that, but you are. Yes. Excellent. And Karen, I think that's another name I recognize. How are you, Karen?
I'm good. I'm good. Yes, you recognize my name because I thought I need a refresher. I saw that you were doing this. I thought I'm going to join, and I'm getting more engaged. So I need a refresher on this.
Fantastic. Remind me what part of town you're in.
I'm Vining, Smyrna, Sandy Springs, right
Excellent.
where it all converges.
Nice, nice. All right. Who did I miss? Who else is here? Miss Edwards.
Hey, this is Deborah. How are you?
Good, Deborah. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Sorry, I'm traveling, so I'm in the car and, trying to do two things at once. I am in North Carolina in the Raleigh-Durham area.
Nice.
Know nothing about wholesaling. Know very little about foreclosures with regards to acquiring them as a real estate investor. So here to learn and excited to hear what you have to teach us.
Well, excellent. My pleasure. My pleasure. Glad you guys are here. And it is being recorded, so it will be uploaded to REI USA's website for you guys for later too. I always recommend bring pen and paper when you hear me talking. It just kind of gets away. I can't stop myself once I get started. So I always like to cater to the audience. I always like to make it personalized, so if you guys are willing to show up, this is the fourth Tuesday every month. If you're willing to show up and you've got specifics we want to talk about, that's what this is about, right? It's about taking you from the classroom to the closing table. In one of my courses I teach, go from the kitchen table to the closing table. So this is the classroom table to the closing table. So that's what we'll do. Who else? Vanessa, Miss Vanessa, how are you?
Hello, sorry, a few minutes late.
Hey, no, you're okay. That's why we do this in the beginning, so that once we get started, everybody's already on board. So Vanessa, where are you and what do you know about real estate?
I am in Raleigh, North Carolina. As far as real estate, I am a newbie looking to, I kind of had a plan and am now kind of getting a little bit more education and thinking of adjusting the plan pretty much. So I'm kind of on more of a learning kick at the moment and trying to really hone in on my strategy. So I have a vacation rental. So I don't really count it as a deal, but I do have almost half of a deal. It's not a cash flow positive property, but I have had experience in the investing realm in that sense.
Gotcha. Very good. What would you hope to accomplish in 2021 in real estate?
Well, I set a goal in the beginning of the year to acquire 2 rental properties. And those were just using the BRRRR strategy, long-term buy and hold rentals, but learning a lot of other things now with REI USA coming across that. So looking to see what other opportunities I could potentially use.
Nice. Excellent. Excellent. Well, I hope you find it exciting, knowledgeable, good stuff tonight. I'm sure you'll be able to take something home. I'm going to start with basics. Just listening to you guys, I'm totally going to start with basics. I would like to ask you to put questions or comments in the chat box. If there's anything you guys want to hear or address, definitely put it in the chat box. Got some exciting news too. Got some freebies for you before we get done with the night. So if you're newbies and really getting started, or you're coming back for a refresher, this is definitely the beginning. So Noah, hey Noah, how are you?
Hey, good evening. How are you?
Good. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you?
Yeah, so my wife and I were in Columbia, South Carolina.
Excellent. Well, hi, Mrs. Harris.
She's here too, Christy Harris. And Christy does the super group for South Carolina.
Oh, nice. Looking forward to it. How about a plug? Christy, when do you do that?
The third Thursday of the month at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Perfect. Yeah, I'm going to throw that on my schedule. I actually have a license in South Carolina, but not active at the time. Working on my North Carolina license. But what do you do in your super group?
A little bit of everything. So last week, we talked about just talking to people in your elevator pitch, whether it's a seller, a buyer, just kind of the basics, because we wanted to kind of start out basic level. Next month, we've decided, because we had a couple questions that led from that into raising private money. That's, a big topic with people. So next month, we're going to teach about raising private money.
Right. Good. Excellent. That's always a good one. Love it. Well, thank you.
Excited.
Thank you for being here. Noah, what about you? What's your background in real estate?
Well, I've been investing for about 10 years. We do everything from wholesaling, rehabbing, passive income, corporate housing, short-term, long-term rentals. Christy does mobile homes.
Oh, nice.
So a little bit of everything.
Excellent. Well, again, thanks for being here tonight. All right. My most favorite person in real estate, Kyle. I know I'm putting you on a spot. I don't know if you're actually on camera. Say hey, Kyle.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. So my name's Kyle Kufelt. Been in real estate since 2014. Do mostly fix and flip, but I've also added new construction to my toolbox, and picking up about a 1 rental property a year. Try to get the rental portfolio to where it needs to be.
Excellent. So Kyle and I do a lot of business together as well. He's he holds me down when or throws me out the window when it comes to IT technology and all that good stuff. And Kyle's a probate specialist.
Yeah, I do. My career was in software engineering and started off doing that, did that for about 20 years, and then started to look at other things and quit my day job. And I've been doing real estate full time since 2016. And Darlene and I have been working together. I started attending her REIA Strategies class in 2014 and found some opportunities where we can work together and handling a lot of our IT stuff for her now.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks. All right, guys. So this is Ultimate Foreclosure Formula. As I said, I'm Darlene, and I've been around 30 years in the business. My first house I bought in 1991, but it took me a year to get there, and it was a HUD foreclosure. And I was so green. Oh my God, my stories go on and on. I won't bore you with them tonight. We do only have an hour together, but I started HUD foreclosures. I bought that, and then I bought a VA foreclosure. Then I bought a corporate relocation. That is the real house that I moved into. The first HUD foreclosure was a duplex, and I occupied one side and then kept it as a rental property. And then got 4 townhomes in Atlanta, Georgia. I got 4 townhomes from the savings and loan collapse from the RTC. And the first one was $40,000. The next 2 were $45,000, and the fourth one was $50,000. All in a matter of 6 months, they went up in price. But so I started off early on buying REOs, foreclosures in stage 3, which is post foreclosure. And I'll tell you about the different stages in a moment. But then and then on, and I went into learning subject 2, which is the process where you could deal with families in pre-foreclosure, or you can deal direct with seller in any type of situation when the seller has a mortgage. So in that particular case, we would take the property, basically take ownership of the property and pay the loan on behalf of the owner. In the case of pre-foreclosure, we would reinstate the loan or bring it current. So subject 2 became really, really, what do I want to say? Popular. So it became really popular. Gosh, it's been about 25 years, I think, that it became super popular, and it's gotten a resurge recently. You know, foreclosures are on the rise again. They're going to be on the rise. You know, we have a couple things to get through. There's the foreclosure moratorium, you know, with the government stopping foreclosures and evictions right now. And then there's the foreclosure forbearance program. So we deal with a lot with that. We deal with a lot of families facing foreclosure and try to do what we can to help them. And as real estate investors, hopefully get to buy a house here and there. So I'm gonna just kind of keep talking about that. Originally, I'm from Pittsburgh, and I have a background in sales. So back in the 80s, I spent 5 years selling Encyclopedia Britannica and started that in Buffalo, New York. So it was a very tough economy, very tough sale, but they had some amazing training. And so that's why I grew up to become who I am here in real estate, because of my background training in sales, negotiations, cold calling, telemarketing, all that good stuff. So didn't realize it, but you know, it prepared me for real estate. And so I just turn around and give that back to you guys. So that's kind of what I do, is just spend that time. Let me see what I want to do here. Let me share my screen a little bit. I don't really have, you know, a formal presentation per se. And I think you guys should all be able to continue to talk. So if you would, first of all, mark your calendars. Every 4th Tuesday of the month, I'll lead the same super group is 7 o'clock Eastern time. And let's see if I can show you the 3 stages of foreclosure. So in stage 1, those are pre-foreclosure. Stage 2 is foreclosure. And then stage 3 is post-foreclosures. So in stage 1, you're primarily buying from the homeowner, buying direct from seller. And so right now, because of forbearance and because of moratorium, there is a bottleneck to the foreclosure pipeline, right? So there are no foreclosures. There are very, very few foreclosures going through the system to get to stage 2 and stage 3. So the name of the game right now is finding sellers, finding motivated sellers, finding distressed properties. And that is primarily my model. So when you buy directly from homeowners, if any of you have ever dealt with pre-foreclosures, you know, it's a stressful situation, and you have to be, you know, you have to be interested in helping them. If you're interested in helping them, they can trust you. They know that you have a solution for their problem. That's where it all starts. If you're just the type of person that really wants to go out there and find a deal, don't deal with the humans, and get it to the closing table, pre-foreclosures is not for you. One of the things I'm going to give you tonight, I have a free ebook, and it's how to get started in the business and the 5 beginning steps, the 5 simple steps to get from I found a house, now what do I do? You know, how to go out there and let people know you're looking to buy a house and exactly what you want to talk about. So part of the freebies I give you are what we call the lead sheet, or the property information sheet. And my entire business model is based on the property information sheet. It starts there. Whether I go door knocking or I'm going to do a direct mail to pre-foreclosures, you know, I'm basically going to say, you know, what's your situation? Tell me what happened. What do you hope to have happen? If we can stop the foreclosure, would you be willing to walk away for what you owe on it? Those are the basic beginnings when we're talking with pre-foreclosures. And then we move into talk about the existing mortgage. Tell me about your mortgage. Who's your lender? How much do you think the balance is on your mortgage? You know, these are really what we get down into the conversation with pre-foreclosures. The next question, you know, usually is, how about your monthly payment? How much is your monthly payment? And does it include your taxes? Does it include your insurance? You got to know, you know, what that is. If I'm taking a property subject to or seller finance or paying all cash, you know, actually taking over the mortgage, seller finance or subject to, I need to know what the monthly payments are. And then I need to know what market rents are. In the near future, we're going to see foreclosures go sky high, and we're going to see in some places, in some markets, the values will start to come down in a couple of years. And so you're going to see that there are no equity in properties. We already see some now with no equity. But if you have a $300 a month or $400 a month spread between the mortgage payment and the market rent, $300 to $400 a month, it's okay if there's no equity. And so dealing with pre-foreclosures, my first question is, can I wholesale this? My next question is, can I do a subject to on this one? When I'm chasing properties with no equity, there's less competition. A lot of people get lists out there and they want to buy the absentee owner free and clear list and you know, high equity lists, and you have to make cash offers. Sometimes it's difficult to get your lowball cash offer accepted, or sometimes they're just wanting top of the market and it doesn't work. But if you have a distressed situation and they have no equity, they're in a position that they really need help. And that's where learning the strategies, you know, on how to do a subject to or seller finance or any kind of creative strategy that puts you in a cash flow. And I say at least 300, 400 a month. If you get less than 300 and the economy turns in a direction that's not good, and you find yourself, you know, vacant or possibly not being able to make that much money every month, you don't want to go negative on your rental properties. So I try to make it no less than 300 a month and try to be in the 400 to 500 a month range. And we're actually in a perfect storm, because in the last decade, properties sold at the top of the market and interest rates were at the bottom of the market. So the PITI, you know, principal, interest, tax, and insurance was very reasonable compared to what rents are. So rental rates, and again, in some markets, rental rates are going up. And so to get that spread between the PITI and your rent is not a hard thing to do. What you have to do is figure out how to find your pre-foreclosures. If the stage 2, so each state is different. In some cases, you're a judicial state. In some cases, you're a non-judicial state. Non-judicial states, you know, take the foreclosures to the steps, to the courthouse steps. In Georgia and Texas, I can tell you for 2 that we, once a month, every first Tuesday, we have foreclosures at the courthouse steps. South Carolina, you guys are a judicial process inside the courtroom, and you guys are going to require, you know, a little bit down, but by 4 p.m., I believe it is, you have to have the remainder all cash if you're buying at stage 2, buying at the courthouse. And then in both cases, stage 1 and stage 2, you have to be able to do good title search, have somebody do a title exam for you. When you do title exams in stage 1, if there are any liens or judgments on that title and you take a property pre-foreclosure, somebody has to satisfy those, whether it's the seller or you. So you got to know that before you close. In the foreclosure process, when you buy at the foreclosure auction, there are super liens, your HOAs, for example, your IRS liens, your property tax liens, in some cases, your water bills, you know, some utility bills. There are super liens that survive the foreclosure. Once again, you have to know, you know, the debt that you're inheriting. Stage 3, so what happens is a property is in pre-foreclosure, depending on which state, the lender either has to file a lawsuit in the judicial states, or in the non-judicial states like Georgia, the lender has to tell you, once you're in default, they have to say, hey, look, hello, pay me, let's work this out, or I got to take you to foreclosure. And then the following month, if they haven't heard from you, then they take for 4 consecutive weeks, they advertise in the public newspaper, and then they auction off the property in front of the courthouse. That's our Georgia process and the Texas process. Now, when you get to the foreclosure auction, if the lender has a reserve bid, typically they'll have an opening bid, and then they have a reserve that they're not willing to sell less than the reserve. And regardless of whether it's inside the courthouse or outside the courthouse, they have a reserve. And if you don't meet that reserve, then the lender now takes legal ownership of the property. Up to this point, it was still owned by the borrower. The lender just had a lien on the title. So now in stage 2, if it doesn't sell to a third party high bidder, then it goes back to the lender. And then when it goes back to the lender, it goes into stage 3, post foreclosures. And this is where you are buying directly from the bank. Those are REOs, real estate owned by the bank. HUD foreclosures is very popular. Auction.com is very popular. There's another one, Hubzu, Hubzu is very popular. These are different online auction platforms that you could buy REOs direct from the bank. And in stage 3, you can take 30 to 45 days to close. So if you have a property that needs a lot of rehab and you're able to get a hard money loan, for example, then you would be able to buy that property, versus stage 2, where in most cases you have to come up with the cash in order to close. In some states, you know, it may be 10 days. Some states may be a little longer at the stage 2 process. But usually if you're in stage 2, you got to plan to have all the money ready. But in stage 1 and stage 3, you know, you can either get hard money loans. In stage 1, you could do some creative deal structuring. Another thing about stage 3, you cannot wholesale REOs. You cannot change the buyer. You cannot do a double closing. You cannot assign the contract. In almost every case today, 2021 and beyond, lenders will not allow you, they will have a deed restriction. The lenders are saying, hey, investor community, you guys are not going to make a profit on our loss. So therefore, if you buy an REO, the deed restriction says, number 1, you can't transfer it in the first 90 days. In a lot of cases, it says you cannot transfer or sell it in the first 90 days. Short sales are like that as well too. Or it may say that you cannot sell it for more than 120% of your purchase price. In most cases, that means purchase price, not purchase price plus renovation cost. And I don't know about you guys, but most of the flips that we do, we spend more than that on the purchase price and the renovation cost. So you're not going to be able to wholesale it and make a profit. So you got to hold it. If you're trying to flip or wholesale post foreclosures, just remember it's 91 plus days before you can transfer that title. My turn to stop for a second. What do you guys think? Any questions, comments? All right, then I'm going to keep going. Sometimes I feel like I'm hogging the stage, I just want you to participate. All right. All right, so let's see, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? What can I tell you? There are many, many, many ways to find motivated sellers. And again, oh, by the way, I am the founder of Ultimate Foreclosure Formula. And what we do is we help investors find motivated sellers, close more deals, make money in 60 days or less. What I'm teaching you is a lot of the basics that we offer, but going out there and either get your list of pre-foreclosures. You can go to auction.com and create a free account and pull up your area, and you can actually export a spreadsheet of foreclosures in your area. That's one way. You've also got Zillow. If you go on Zillow, you can set up a free account, and you go on Zillow and you look for buy now. You want to buy properties, and you set your parameters so that you can look at pre-foreclosures or look at foreclosures or just look at for sale by owners. Those are easy ways, to go online and start picking lists like that. Direct mail and email. There's this thing in our industry called skip tracing, right? There's a lot of different ways to skip trace, which is to try to find the owner of a property, to try to find the owner's contact information, their phone number, where they may live now instead of the vacant property. Also find their email address. And once you do that, it's very, very popular right now to do text messaging, to do emails, to do outbound phone calls. A lot of people are doing it. Driving for dollars and door knocking. One of the things that we like to do is go out as a group and just saturate our market, go out there and identify. So typically what I would recommend, let's say that you go on auction.com and you find 3 properties in your area. I could probably pull up Raleigh-Durham right now and probably find at least 3 foreclosures coming up soon. And you put those on your list, right? And you optimize your list. You decide you're going to go, this is property number 1, 2, and 3. And then you create your flyers, you create your branding, and then you go out there and start putting flyers out. So for every address, when it comes to driving areas, there's nothing more valuable than driving your territory. If you're too scared and not comfortable, or you just don't like the idea of knocking on doors, you don't have to knock on the door, but you really should get okay with putting flyers out. You can put them on the doors. There's different opinions as to what you can do with the mailbox, but one fact is you cannot put them inside the mailbox. Cannot put them inside the mailbox. A lot of folks like to get those little baggies and put little rocks in there and put your flyer inside a baggie, throw it on the driveway. That's one thing you can do. Or, whatever you want to use, postcards. There's a lot of different opportunities there. But this is what the business is about right now. I want to tell you something about foreclosures. In 2008, we all know about the recession of the Great Recession, 2008, right? It didn't happen by itself. It wasn't just that one year. In my opinion, I say, let me tell you about from 2003 to 2012. And where are we now compared to there? In 2009, across the country, the first 3 months of 2009, there were 616,000 foreclosure notices in the first quarter of 2009. That's after the crash, right? And then by the time we got to 10, 11, and 12, we had the most number of foreclosures in history. Well, today, there's a moratorium out there, and all these foreclosures are bottling up. They're not going through. They're not being foreclosed on, number one. Number two, in forbearance, there are over 3 million families in forbearance. And forbearance simply means they're not paying their mortgage payment. And that's 12 to 15 months long now. So for 12 to 15 months, there are families who have not been paying. This started in March of 2020, and it's now been extended through April 2021. And I believe it may even get extended through September. That means anybody who qualifies can start a forbearance this month, next month, and the following month, and for 12 months not make a payment, or 15 months not make a payment. That takes us into 2022. That takes us into 2022 that we've now stretched out. So in a matter of 1 year's time, what has happened, the numbers that are transpiring in 1 year's time took years and years to escalate to the highest number of foreclosures in 2010, 2011, 2012. So we're happening in 1 year. So right now, there are over 3 million households in forbearance. We're calling that, I've heard this on an economists talk, that they're calling it the foreclosure incubator. So that incubator is going to go wide open. What happens at the end of the forbearance? Remember, forbearance is they're not making their payments. As long as they communicate with the lender, several options happen. Number one, all of those payments can get set aside to what I call a silent second mortgage. It's silent because they don't have to pay monthly payments on it. It just goes and sits there until they sell the house or pay off their first, and then that's owed, right? That's a silent second. That's a good solution. Let's pretend you owe $1,000 a month. You have 15 months. That's $15,000 that sits on as a second. It doesn't go away. And there's variations and I can go on and on and on about stories like that. But let's just leave it like that for one option. Option number two, loan modification. Take those $15,000, those 15 payments, and take your current mortgage and wrap it up and make a brand new loan out of it and change the terms of the loan. That's another option. A third option is take those 15 payments and add them to the current monthly payment so that now each month you're going to add more to your monthly payment. That's pretty toxic when it comes to homeowners. That's not going to work very well. But it is an option that's being put out there. And then there's, there may be one other variation of that. But the bottom line is, one, the homeowner must be willing to speak to the lender. Let me tell you this thing that people don't realize. The forbearance does not go against you on your credit rating right now. The forbearance does not, it doesn't show up. But if you want to do some things, you got to bring your forbearance current. However, the lenders are sending notices out. I've helped some families and they're calling back like almost crying. The lenders are sending notices out to say that you are in default of the terms of your original mortgage. So even though it's not going on credit ratings, there are default notices. And that's where it's called notice of default. Default notices is where this whole foreclosure shebang starts. And then it goes from that, it goes into your default, and then it goes into whether it's a judicial state and you have to go through a lawsuit, or non-judicial, and it just gets legally advertised as it's supposed to be and then cried within 2 months later. So what's going to happen is once this forbearance ends, and some of them are going to end in April this year, some will be May, June, July, some will be March, April, May, June, July next year, but 3 million plus, right? Right now, I don't know if I said there was 616,000 foreclosure notices in 2009, just the first 3 months. That's 5.5 times that number. If half those people don't get back on track, that's a huge number compared to 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I personally think that 2021 is not the year that we're going to see all these foreclosures come out. They will start coming back slowly, but I think it's still another 6 months or more. 2022, again, I think we'll start seeing a very small number, the lowest number of foreclosures ever. By 2022, we'll start doubling. But what we're going to see is 23, 24, 25, 26 to be the equivalent of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's where it's going to hit hard. So that's my opinion, being a foreclosure, queen of foreclosure here, and all this background. So all of that to say what? Foreclosures is a good thing to focus on. It's interesting. For me, foreclosures is my niche. All phases of foreclosure, all stages of foreclosure is my niche, but it's not the only thing I do. when you go back out to what I talk about, saturating your market, finding motivated sellers, you have to touch the lead multiple times. So if I'm driving for dollars, all I take is 3 addresses, right? Let's just take 3 pre-foreclosure addresses. I want you guys to do this. I don't want to overwhelm you. I want you to do it, right? And so when I sold Encyclopedia Britannica, here's what I learned. Every appointment, because we went into the family's houses too, every appointment you go on, when you're done, you knock 3 doors to the right, 3 doors to the left, and 5 doors across the street. So every address you go out on, you're putting out 12 flyers. Like I said, whether you want to knock or don't knock, you still put the flyers out. Make that commitment to yourself, and you're going to start saturating your markets. You're going to find off-market deals. And I think every one of us would agree, off-market deals is the way to go. I mean, I could go on and on and on about how we can't compete with the big funds out there. Most of the markets we mentioned, you've got funds in your markets too. So getting out there and then touching them multiple times. If I'm going out to an address, I've got what I call distressed property form. And it's just an empty spreadsheet that I put addresses down. When I go out there, if I put flyers and there's a tarp on the roof, or, you know, the yard is overgrown, or the garage door looks beat up, or the wood siding, the windows look bad, I'm going to put that down on my list. And then that's going to be part of what I do. And that's the keys I'm trying to tell you, is regardless of your niche, if it's foreclosures, vacant properties, absentee owners, whatever it is, get out to those neighborhoods and put flyers out. If I had only went to 3 properties times 12, 36 flyers. Every time you do that, your phone's going to start to ring. You know, we get results when we talk to expired listings or active listings, even sometimes under contract listings. Depending on your ability to close, you could really get a deal or 2 out of MLS in a market, even when they're short of inventory, if you know exactly what you're doing there. For sale by owner, Craigslist, Facebook, Instagram, Zillow. You got to identify vacant properties and then go skip trace them. And then what are you going to do? Mail a flyer, call them, email them, and text them. There's 4 right there. And then go take a flyer, knock on the door. You know, 4 ways to touch that lead. And so that, to me, that's key. All right. It's already 7:38 here. I have a free webinar, guys. I'm going to invite you to the free webinar. This is foreclosures, how to find them, how to buy them. So this one is actually going to literally give you about 90 minutes in taking you to the next step on all the different stages of foreclosure, setting up your auction.com, those kind of things. So I've got that for you for being with us tonight. I've also got, this is what I mentioned earlier, the 5 easy steps to investing in real estate. Every one of those on the front page we've done in the last few years. You know, we've either done wholesale or flips on those properties. You can click on you could do the QR code there, or the bonus at the top, that link. A couple things you need to start getting. You need to start getting your flyers together, right? You want to get some flyers together. So I give you examples in this free ebook. I give you examples of flyers. Also go to postcardmania.com and go to yellowletters.com, and you'll see some samples there to help you create your flyers. The other thing too is, I just want to mention that there is Jennifer Ward. If you guys never seen her, she does long distance real estate investing. She's one of the REI USA teachers. So she's on right after this at 8 o'clock. So I just kind of want to let you guys know that. I think you just go to your membership site on REI USA if you want to join. I'm planning to go there. And we'll talk some more. I just wanted to get through this to let you know. So then there's me, the 4th Tuesday every month on foreclosures. This was just an introduction, just to kind of get to know each other for starters. And you know, I'm relying on you guys to tell me, what is it? Talk to me, tell me some things. what can I do to help you get to the next level in your business? What is it that you might be struggling with, or what is one of your biggest challenges in the business that you're doing now? Angela, hey you. Angela, come join us. So long since I've seen you.
Hey, Dar.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, good, good. I've been staying home mostly.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to stay safe, though I did go out briefly to see Stan's building today. But aside from that, I've been staying close to home, working, what do you call it? Virtually, like a
Yeah.
lot of other people. Yeah. So, but it's been good. But I'm like, oh yay, you're on here. So
I
haven't
know
seen you in so long.
You too, and I saw you too, and I was looking through the membership site, and I was like, oh, awesome! I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know, it's great. I'm so impressed with this whole REI USA virtual thing. I think it's fantastic, really. So I'm really impressed. Oh,
Stacey is so amazing.
She's brilliant.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm glad to see you're on here as one of the trainers. And I've missed your monthly trainings, even though, you know, we couldn't like drive somewhere to go and sit in the classroom and see you.
Yeah.
But I've missed that. So I'm glad to see you on here. It's fantastic. She couldn't have anybody better when it comes to foreclosures, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
and a lot of other stuff, just based on all your experience and know-how. And these people are going to love you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to have to get you re-engaged, come back over.
Yeah. Well, hey, yeah, that sounds good to me. Hey, I'm not, that's why I'm here.
So, you know, we went door knocking. Janet was there. We went door knocking.
I do.
Gosh, a couple of weeks ago, I guess, the 13th.
Yes, yes.
And of course, we got rained on for 4 hours.
I know.
But last year we got snowed on. I don't know what it is about Darlene. She's in that February. Anyway, so we got snowed on last year. But you guys, we went out, and I had 16 properties on the list. The majority of them were pre-foreclosures, but I took a couple active expired listings. We had some for sale by owner, and I knew we weren't going to get to the whole thing because we had like 18 to 20 of us out there door knocking.
That's a lot. Yes.
And cool. It was fun. I mean, I love it. So, but in the afternoon, I said, okay, now we broke for lunch, and then we met back, and I said, okay, we got 3 houses on our list. This is how you treat your day. And again, if you're really, really brand new at this and you're really nervous about getting out in neighborhoods and walking up and down the street or knocking on people's doors, take one address, like off of auction.com. And that's what I normally like to do too, is I like to go to an auction platform and pull an REO. And what's interesting is when you're trying to target and you're trying to farm a market, you look at what comes up month after month after month, those same neighborhoods. And that's where you want to be preemptive. You want to be there before it comes out. You know, it's some of those properties on those lists. I've been in foreclosures buying at the steps for over a decade. And I'm like, we bought in that neighborhood over and over and over again. And that's what you want to get to. The point is you want to know everything about real estate, you know, coming and going in an area that you decide you want to target. Investors ask me, you know, how big of an area, how small of an area should I target? And I said, as big as you can manage. So at the beginning, start with your own neighborhood and then just go out and drive to the next neighborhood. Look for vacant, distressed properties. Start there. Get the pre-foreclosures in your area, and we can help you with that. By the way, so that the freebies, I think we have free pre-foreclosure leads for you on there also. We got the free ebook, the free webinar, free pre-foreclosure leads. We are all about giving too. You know, I forgot who it was that said that. And who's doing was it Cynthia that's doing the South Carolina group? So
yes.
Yeah. You know, it's all about giving. It's all about helping each other. We do a lot of joint ventures. We do a lot just because we know how, and it's a give back, whether it's helping the family or helping an investor get there. But it's interesting. Even all these years in sales, I think I've been in sales at least 40 years in my life. And I don't like cold calling. I don't like talking to strangers, and I don't like going to the door. I really don't, but I'm trained. So I'm not organically natural person to go out there and talk to strangers and try to drum up a deal. I'm not, but I'm trained at it. And that's what I try to get you guys to do. When we talk about, you got to get the free ebook. Go out there, it tells you, go out there, the 5 steps, make some business cards, get rid of those business cards. You may have professional business cards, but you choose, and I say, hey, choose your favorite color and then go flamboyant. So if you love red, you love blue, you love green, go flamboyant, make your business card flamboyant green, highlighter yellow, whatever it is. And it just says, like mine says, darbyshouses.com. You can check out my website, darbyshouses.com. That's what it's in the process of being updated, but that's what my branding. Hey, this is Darlene with Darby's Houses. We're calling families in your area. Do you or someone you know have a house you need to sell? That's where I start. I'm trying to develop a relationship out of nothing. I go to the door. Hey, it's Darlene. I'm Darlene with Darby's Houses. How's it going? I'm not interested. Oh, no problem. That house across the street, do you know anything about it? We're trying to help clean it up. If I see a distressed property, I don't care what it is, make excuses to go to the doors. Hey, let me give you an easy thing. Look for sell by owners, right? You could go to Zillow. There's several places to go look for sell by owner. And then go to the door, right? They put a sign in the yard. They put a sign on the internet and says, I want to sell my house. They raised their hand, said, I want to sell my house. We have some basic questions. And those basic questions are, if you know they have a mortgage, you have to get through some things first. Are you willing to walk away for what you owe on it? Heck no, man, I got 50,000 equity. I got to have at least some of that. Well, how much cash do you need at closing? So that would be kind of like, am I going to do a subject to deal or a possible seller finance? If you're asking for full market price, I am a real estate investor. Like I said, I'm not going to move into the house. We just try to make a little bit of profit. I tell owners we're, trying to make 10%. Not trying to steal the house or anything. So the numbers have to work for us and for you. And if I were to give you your price, would you be willing to give me my terms? And I don't care, guys. If I overpay for that house, I don't care. If I can get $500 a month spread, maybe they own the house free and clear and they're asking too much. And I said, are you willing to take some cash now and most of it later? Right? Yeah, give me 20,000 now and I'll take 100,000 in the future. I said, that would be fine. If I gave you 20,000 now, would you take 400 a month until paid? Well, how much interest? I don't know. What interest did you have in mind? At least, a point over market. Well, how about a half a point over market? I don't care what the interest rate is. I don't care what the purchase price is. I care that I'm getting $500 a month cash flow. And so that's, I always talk about 3 buckets of money: cash now, cash flow, cash later. So even though this is foreclosures, nobody has questions. So I have to keep going on and on. I told you, I'm going to give you a lot of good information. And it's really the foundation of being successful in real estate. So, sometimes I just go on and I go, wait, it's hard to tell if people don't share videos. It's hard for me to tell whether or not you guys are following, whether or not I'm pouring it on too thick, or should I keep on going? So.
Well, I'll jump in really quickly. I just want to share that the door knocking event was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay for the whole time, but what I got, and I was actually reading some of the notes today, because I didn't go door knocking today, but I did go and look at some properties. But one of the takeaways from that experience was reconnecting with Ari.
Oh, yeah.
And which was fantastic, because he's like, would you like to go door knocking? And I was like, yes, I would like to go door knocking. So I think sorry about the dog.
That's okay.
I think I have a door knocking partner, and we talked today at Stan's event and came up with the plan, please, just like a kid. I can't believe it.
I know, right?
And so I'm so excited. Next week we're going out. We're going to farm his area, and then the next time we'll go out and we'll farm my area. So
excellent.
We come up with the plan, and I'm so excited. So
Thank you for sharing. That's bravo, bravo. I know, right? That's what it's all about. It is absolutely it. There's no straight line, not when it comes
Yeah.
to me, especially. There's no one way to do this. There's so many different ways. And when we did the afternoon after lunch, I never finished my story. When we did after lunch, I had 3 pre-foreclosures on the list. And the whole day, our goal was to put out 100 to 150 flyers because there's 18 of us and we were carpooling and it wasn't easy. But I said, look, we're just going to keep moving, and we were drenched. But anyway, so after lunch, it kind of stopped raining, and our goal was to get rid of everything we had. By the time before we were done, we had 2 phone calls.
that's amazing.
And that was super exciting. One was one of the pre-foreclosures, and one was just a lady in the neighborhood that she's like, I hate living here. I don't want to live here anymore. I just need to find my place for myself. She's in forbearance, but not in foreclosure. And she said, I need to find a place for myself, and you guys can have my house. So
Wow.
we're working on it. I know, right? And so this is my distressed property list. And on here, the first 3 properties were next door to the pre-foreclosure. And I put a flyer, and then they're occupied, and I want to do a skip trace and do a direct mail campaign. That's my action item. I also put down a certain subdivision, Woodridge subdivision, and I want to farm that neighborhood. So now I came back and I pulled up a list of all of the owners in that neighborhood, and some of them I can see their mailing address and some live there. So I have owner occupants and absentee owners. So now I'm going to create again another direct mail campaign, and then I'm going to do the emails and the text messaging and the phone calls on the same list. And then as we were driving from property number 1 to property number 2, and this is what I want to understand, it's not about going out to 3 addresses and trying to buy one. It's about understanding and knowing your market, claiming your territory. So then we found one on Boggs Road, and it was very distressed. So I didn't put a flyer out. We just stopped by, and same thing. I want to do skip trace and direct mail to that. And then I'm going to create another campaign with the US Post Office. And we're going to do certain areas within 1.5 miles of one of these addresses. Then we came across quadruplexes, and I have what's called Land Glide. You guys, it's landglide.com, I believe. And Land Glide is an app on the phone, and it's $100 a year or something, really inexpensive, less than 100 a year. And you can stop in front of a property, and it'll tell you the property, and it will give you good information. If there's a mailing address outside the property, it gives it to you. And I say the Land Glide, there are a lot of other really good, really powerful tools, but it's so inexpensive. I like to use it. And I even use it from my desk. I could type in any address I want when I'm looking at pre-foreclosures. I type in an address to see if there's a forwarding address for them. It's one
The
of
the thing I really love about it, and I used it today, is it's got a link right to the county record. So not only does it give you that preliminary information right there on the first screen, but if you click on the link, you're right there at the county record, and you can see the history on the property. So it's a really great tool.
Excellent, excellent. That's right. Well, guys, believe it or not, we are at the end. Who says that in their TV show? We're at the end. So do you see my screen, the 5 easy steps?
Yeah.
Go get that free ebook. Get the free ebook, and then you sign up for the webinar, but definitely get the free ebook. If you're serious about the business and you're newbie or you're trying to get back on track, this is excellent. Promise you it's excellent. And then I'm going to go ahead and jump on the next REI USA group, long distance real estate investing, right up my alley, because I love to be on my computers and I love to do virtual. So it's great. Again, back to Stacy being so unbelievably amazing. I love this network. I love this because if I can do what I do, Atlanta is such a tough market. There's too much competition, too much money in Atlanta to be cash buyers. I can't compete. But if I could do the same thing in small town Southeast and small town Midwest, and there's people in this group that are boots on the ground. If you're boots on the ground in your group, hey, I have an email address. My email address is support@Darby's Houses. If you want to, I'm going to try to put it in the email, in the text, in the chat. It's support at darbuyshouses.com. If you guys want to look at doing some business together, if you've got an area, and we can put put our thinking caps on and figure out how to go down the same path. It is amazing. That's how I got to where I got to. Did I tell you it took me a year to buy my first house? Talk about green. I had no idea. I went to the closing. It was $100 down special by HUD. $100 down, which is one of the reasons we were like, yes, let's do this. We don't even need any money. Get to the closing table. It costs like $1,000 or something in closing costs. I was shocked. I was so green. I had no idea. I think I was like 30. I had no idea what closing costs were. So it took me a year because we tried to figure it out on our own. We bought the Carlton sheets. I say we, my ex-husband and I. We bought Carlton sheets and we were trying to figure it all out and making offers. Couldn't get any accepted. So we got one. But then a couple years later, we met REIAs like this. We met meetup groups, and that's what we did. We start, just networking with each other and getting the education. When I learned Subject 2 back in like 1993, 94, I was like, wow, this is great. By 96, 97, I couldn't qualify for mortgages anymore. So having the creative deal structure became paramount to continue to keep buying houses. So that's what this is all good for, just you got to get involved as much as you can. And we're here. I'll see you guys on Facebook group and all that good stuff. Oh, join our Facebook group, Ultimate Foreclosure Formula Facebook group. Join ours too. Sometimes we have deals posted there. Well, guys, if nobody else has anything, I think that's about it.
Thanks, Dar.
Thank you. Love you. Good to see you.
Thank you, Darlene.
Love you
We'll see
too.
you next month, if not before.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump on that next call too.
All right. See you guys.
See you there.
See you next
Bye.
month.
Yep.
Hey, Cynthia, look forward to seeing your group too.